10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon to all. On behalf of GSS Jain College, I feel immense pleasure to welcome you all for the second day of National Level FDP on Academic Best Practices, organized by Internal Quality Assurance Cell of GSS Jain College. I extend my warm welcome to our Honorable Chief Guest, Dr. Sri Ranjani Mokshagundam, Professor of Management, BGS B School, Bangalore. I also welcome our Honorable Secretary, Sir, Dr. Gautam Ved, Sir, and our lovable Principal, Dr. M.K. Malati, Ma'am, to this webinar. Let us commence this informative and beneficial session by seeking the Almighty blessings. May I request Dr. Mahalakshmi Ma'am, Assistant Professor of Computer Science, to render a gracious welcome and deliver the credentials of our speaker.
Good afternoon to all. A brief introduction about our chief guest, Dr. S. Sri Ranjani Mokshagundam ma'am. She is working as a professor in BGS B School, Bangalore. She is dedicating her effort towards the profession of the society, directly impacting the quality and standard of living by sharing knowledge. As a professor of management, she possesses over 9 years of experience in teaching and research. In addition to her academic achievements, she has also completed 4 levels of German language course and acquired several professional certifications. Throughout her career, she has served as a principal, professor, research supervisor, while also maintaining memberships and association with national and international professional bodies. Her contributions have been recognized through numerous awards and honors. Moreover, she has taken on various roles such as chairperson, keynote guest speaker, resource person, and panelist in numerous events. She has actively participated and organized various national and international academic programs. Furthermore, she has made significant contributions to academia by presenting and publishing numerous articles, textbooks, book chapters in edited books, and patents. Her expertise is also acknowledged through her role on an editorial board member of highly esteemed journals. Thank you.
May I request our chief guest, Dr. Sri Ranjani Mokshagundam, to take over the session.
Sure, ma'am. Thank you so much. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. So I'm presenting my screen from one more system. Can you just allow the same? Right. Is the screen visible, ma'am?
It's visible.
Okay, fine. Thank you. Very good afternoon to one and all present here, and thank you, ma'am, for the kind introduction. Guru Sri Shanti Vijay Jain College for Women, Chennai, organizing 5 days national level FDP on best practices benchmarking in higher education institutions for quality enhancement. Yes. Today, we will be discussing about the academic best practices. I'll quickly get into the background. As we all know, in this technological era, quality has emerged as a key component, especially within our contemporary education system. See, it is widely acknowledged that quality imparts greater relevance to our knowledge and education as individuals. Today, what's happening? Students, parents, teachers, educational institutions, all are collectively prioritizing premium education because it acts as an essential catalyst for the advancement and nurturing of learners. Now, here comes the fundamental question: how to provide quality education to a large number of students while keeping the educational costs at a reasonable level. See, the majority of higher education institutions, HEIs, especially in the developing nations, confront the challenge of delivering excellence and quality, especially on a large scale. So, the crucial component of quality assurance in all our higher education institutions, especially in India, is IQAC, Internal Quality Assurance Cell. So, as we all know, IQAC mechanism, it promotes, it monitors, and also ensures the quality and excellence of education as well as the academic activities within an institution. See, this concept of IQAC, it's not unique to India. Similar quality assurance bodies, they also exist in many higher education systems worldwide. For example, in UK, United Kingdom, we have QAA, Quality Assurance Agency for Higher Education. And this is responsible for safeguarding the quality and standards of UK higher education. And while coming to Australia, they also have a body called uh, TEQSA, Tertiary Education Quality and Standards Agency, which regulates and as well as which assures the quality of Australia's higher education sector. Similarly, in Canada, we have Universities Canada. So it represents the Canadian universities and also ensures the quality of their programs. In India, as we all know, we have NBA, National Board of Accreditation, which accredits the technical programs and engineering colleges. And most importantly, we have the National Assessment and Accreditation Council, NAC, which is an autonomous body in India and that is responsible for evaluating and accrediting the higher education institutions. As we all know, or most of us we are aware of, criteria 7 of the NAC assessment framework, it exclusively focuses on our today's topic, institutional values and best practices. So it assesses an institution's commitment, whether it is fostering, whether it is promoting any kind of ethical, social, or say even cultural values, and the extent to which an institution has adopted the best practices in what? Maybe in its governance, in its administration, as well as in management. And these best practices, they enhance the value as well as the credibility of educational programs, institutions, and all their stakeholders. So they serve as dependable benchmarks for establishing high standards of quality in HEIs. In simpler terms, I would like to say institutional excellence, it results from the adoption of best practices encompassing various aspects of both academic as well as non-academic performance. And in addition to these major accreditation bodies, we also have some specific professional councils, or you can call it as regulatory bodies, which oversee and also accredit programs in their respective domains. For example, we have MCI, Medical Council of India. So it accredits medical colleges and programs, ensuring that they meet the standards which are necessary to produce competent medical professionals. Similarly, we have BCI, Bar Council of India, we have Indian Nursing Council, we have Pharmacy Council of India, Then we have COA, Council of Architecture, and so on. Okay. IQAC in higher education. So, what are the key functions of IQAC? Can anybody attempt to answer? Do we need IQAC, this unit in our higher education institutions? You can please unmute yourselves, or even you can type it in the chat box. Do you think IQAC body is necessary in our institutions? Anybody, participants? You can just unmute yourselves, or even you can type it in the chat box. Yes, Leelavati G, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, Jayanti Kumari, ma'am. Yes. May I know the reason, ma'am? Why do we need this IQAC body? Sujata, ma'am. Yes. Okay. Okay. I'll tell you. Why do we need, or what are the key functions of IQAC in higher education? Mainly assurance of quality. See, IQAC ensures that the institution provides quality education and related services to all its stakeholders. Say, for example, at a medical college, the IQAC it ensures the provision of quality education as well as healthcare services. So, by maintaining rigorous clinical training standards and regular assessments, that particular college assures students or even their future patients, right, um, who graduate, they are well prepared to deliver high quality medical care. Then, accountability. So, it holds the institution accountable for its quality standards and compliance with the regulatory requirements. Again, to take an example of a law school, under the guidance of IQAC, it consistently ensures that all the academic and administrative processes they adhere to the established regulations and standards. And by conducting internal audits, or even affirming that quality or faculty qualifications align with these kinds of regulatory requirements, that particular institution it demonstrates its commitment to accountability both to its students as well as to the external accrediting bodies. Then, transparency. Yes, IQAC promotes transparency in all institutional activities, from admission processes to assessments as well as in decision making. Say, for example, an university's IQAC it promotes transparency maybe by maintaining a public record of its admission process and criteria. So the institution's website may include a detailed information about what about their admission requirements, about their selection process, their fee structures. Through this, what is happening? They are enabling the prospective students and their families to make proper informed decisions about their enrollment, whether to get into this college or go to another institution. Simple. Monitoring and evaluation. See, IQAC regularly monitors and evaluates the quality of teaching, learning, research, as well as administrative processes. See, this involves periodic reviews as well as audits. For example, in a college, a IQAC it conducts regular evaluations of teaching quality. Right? What do? They use student feedback surveys. They also do the classroom observations, right? They also take into account the peer evaluations to assess the effectiveness of their teaching methods, because as I told you they are just trying to evaluate how is the quality of teaching in their institution. See, if certain, just an example, if certain faculty members consistently they are receiving low ratings, how will IQAC help? IQAC will work with them to develop improvement plans, and they are trying to fortify that teaching quality aligns with their predefined benchmarks. Benchmarks are nothing but the standards. Then, accreditation, most importantly, IQAC prepares the institution for accreditation process, as we all know, and it ensures there is compliance with accreditation standards. For example, let's say a university has sought accreditation from a prominent national accreditation body. Now, IQAC is responsible in preparing the institution for that rigorous accreditation. Accreditation is nothing but an official approval process from the accreditation body. Now, they review the institution's policies. Is it up to the mark or not? They review the curriculum. They also look into the infrastructure, and mainly they see the faculty qualifications to ensure the alignment with the accreditation standards. So this comprehensive preparation leads to a successful accreditation outcome, and it also enhances the credibility of that particular university. Feedback mechanism. So IQAC acts as a feedback mechanism. It starts collecting and analyzing the data that is related to academic and administrative performance. Let us say if a business schools IQAC, it has implemented a robust feedback mechanism. What they'll be doing with this? They regularly try to collect feedback from their students, faculty, administrative staff. How? Maybe through surveys, or they just try to conduct focus group discussions. Then, once this data is collected, it is analyzed and actionable insights are shared with the relevant departments. If at all there are any concerns, they'll try to address the same. So this continuous feedback loop, it definitely leads to improvements, maybe in course offerings, facilities, and support services. So it facilitates a process of continuous improvement by identifying the areas for enhancement, and also they try to suggest the effective strategies. Documentation definitely has to be there. Our IQAC unit, it maintains and also it updates the necessary documents for institutional quality and accreditation. They may include academic policies, assessment records, faculty qualifications. See, if during an accreditation visit, if your institution was commended for its meticulous record keeping, yes, you get A plus score. So, and this helps you in streamlining the approval process. And you are trying to demonstrate the commitment to quality assurance. Then we have to give a positive rating to our IQAC unit, because IQAC has maintained and updated all these things. Then coming to composition of IQAC. Within any HEI, the composition of IQAC, internal quality assurance cell, is of paramount importance to its effectiveness. Actually, it typically includes a diverse group of experts who contribute their perspectives, experiences, and they try to ensure that the unit can comprehensively address an institution's quality assurance as well as its improvement needs. We will be having senior faculty members. They often form the core of the IQAC. They bring extensive academic experience and knowledge of the institution's programs or even the curricula. They can also effectively represent the faculty's interests and concerns. Then we have administrators. So administrative staff, they ensure that the institutional processes run smoothly. They try to provide insights into the management as well as the operational aspects of that particular institution. So this can encompass areas like uh, admission, student services, finance, facilities management, and so on. Then we also have external experts, very, very important. They are often from industry or academia, but they are a valuable addition to the IQAC. They try to bring an outside perspective. So this will be definitely instrumental in benchmarking the institution against any national or for that matter international standards as well. So they try to offer insights into the what are the emerging trends, what are the best practices, and what are the innovative approaches that the institution might not be aware of. So they add the credibility to the IQAC's assessments and recommendations. In some institutions, students' perspectives are also considered in quality improvement efforts. So even they can provide valuable feedback on their teaching learning process, or the infrastructure of the institution, support services. So they are trying to help their institution address any kind of specific needs or concerns. And some institutions also involve alumni in their IQAC. Just they want to gain the insights into the real world application of the education whatever the alumni has received. Even they can provide the feedback on how well the institution prepared them for their careers, or even they can suggest the areas of improvement if any. Government or regulatory body representatives, they ensure that they remain in compliance with the regulatory requirements. Even they can provide the guidance on latest regulations or standards. So IQAC is typically led by a chairperson, or we can call a him or her a coordinator, often a senior academic or administrative leader who is responsible for coordinating the unit's activities, facilitating meetings, and verifying that IQAC fulfills its responsibilities effectively. Then we have rotating members. In some institutions, there may be a rotation of members, mainly to maintain a fresh perspective and also the continuity in IQAC's work. This ensures that no single group of individuals are dominating in the decision making process. So now we have understood that IQAC maintains good relationship with accreditation bodies. It is for liaison and communication. It prepares for accreditation. What else? For policy and procedure alignment. It collects data, documentation. They can also have the external peer review. Sometimes what IQAC might organize visits by the experts from other colleges. They just want the other experts to check whether our college meets the benchmarking or the standards or not. So IQAC makes sure whatever these visitors want, they'll just provide them. Then even post accreditation monitoring is also done. Even after getting accredited, IQAC keeps watching just to make sure our college maintains high quality and keeps meeting the standards which are set by the accreditation body. Now I know maybe for 15-20 minutes why did I tell all these. I just want to tell you IQAC is like the college's quality control team. It ensures compliance with best practices and it helps the college meet high quality standards and get accredited and stay excellent in the long run in the ways as discussed till now. Yes. Now let us see what are academic best practices. Can somebody throw some light on this? What are academic best practices? What do you understand by today's topic of discussion? What are academic best practices? Anybody? What is your idea of academic best practices? You can just type it in the chat box. Hope I am audible. Anybody?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I have not received any responses. No problem. As the slide tells you, academic best practices refer to a set of established methods, strategies, and approaches that have been proven to be effective in enhancing the quality of education in HEIs, higher education institutions. So these practices encompass a wide range of aspects, as I already told you, related to teaching, learning, research, administration, as well as institutional management. Let us examine each best practice individually. Okay. So can anybody tell me what is the significance of faculty development programs like this? Is this a academic best practice? Does this come under academic best practice? What is the significance of conducting FDPs? or I just know many resource persons across India or even outside India, so we'll be conducting one FDP in a month. Is that so? Why do we conduct? What is the significance of conducting these kinds of faculty development programs? Does this come under the academic best practice to sharpen skills? Right, sir? Okay. Anything else? Any other insights? Academic excellence, definitely. Okay. Learning, doing something innovative, definitely, ma'am. FDP encourages to excel. Correct, sir. Okay. So now we all know that FDPs are essential components of any higher education institution's commitment to academic excellence. See, the significance of FDPs, it is multifaceted, and the list goes on like this. You can see it on the slide. Enhancing the teaching skills. Somebody already told me that FDPs equip the educators with the latest teaching methodologies, the technological tools, as well as the pedagogical techniques. That's why we keep on attending many FDPs in an academic year, isn't it? So, this not only improves the quality of instruction but also enhances our student engagement as well as their learning outcomes. It also promotes innovation. Yes, these kind of programs encourage the faculty to explore innovative teaching and assessment strategies. For example, after attending so many FDPs, we will get new ideas. We can even incorporate blended learning. We can take up active learning, or even say experiential education into our courses, so that we are trying to lead towards more dynamic and effective teaching methods. FDPs support research and scholarship. Yes, they definitely provide the opportunities for faculty to enhance their research skills. They can assess or they can access resources, and they can even collaborate with peers. So, this leads to a more robust research culture within an institution. FDPs also instill a culture of continuous improvement, especially among the faculty, among the educators. So faculty members, they regularly reflect on their own teaching practices. They assess the student feedback and adapt their methods mainly to meet the evolving educational needs, especially in this era of technology. So alignment with accreditation, right? So these programs align faculty practices with accreditation standards and securing that institutions meet the criteria which is set by those accrediting bodies, and this is particularly vital for maintaining and enhancing the reputation of that particular higher education institution. And by improving teaching quality, FDPs directly impact student success. So students benefit from enhanced teaching methods. They can see there is more clearer communication between the faculty as well as the students. And we can even sense there is more engaging classroom experiences. See, there are many types of FDPs. It could be pedagogical workshops. So they'll be focusing on the teaching strategies or the instructional design, assessment methods. Faculty members, they can learn how to create effective lesson plans, how to engage their students, or even how to develop assessment tools that measure the learning outcomes. Then we also have something called technology training, and this has become very much vital after we saw the outbreak of COVID 19 pandemic, because technology has become it is becoming something increasingly integral, especially to our education. So FDPs try to offer training in using how to use these educational technologies. So this can include LMS, learning management systems. These FTPs can throw light on online assessment tools, multimedia resources, as we all know about it. Then We also have mentorship programs. See, senior faculty members, they can mentor the junior colleagues. They can guide them how to adapt or how to be effective, what kind of teaching methods should they be using, or what kind of research, or how to just navigate through their academic careers is what the senior faculty members, they mentor their junior colleagues. Then research support. So these programs also provide funding, resources and guidance for faculty research projects. Faculties, they can access grants or library resources, or even they can have collaboration opportunities when once the institution tries to give through these kind of FDPs the support for their research. Then there is also interdisciplinary collaboration. We are continuously encouraging the faculty to collaborate across disciplines, because we are trying to promote a more holistic approach to teaching and research. I believe that interdisciplinary workshops, seminars, they foster cross pollination of ideas. Yes, when I'm speaking about the FDPs, or I spoke about a research support program, I would like to just share a small success story of a college that is known to me. I'll not mention the name. Maybe last year we conducted a research support program there. Maybe after 1/4 of a year, 3 or 4 months, the head of the department, he shared a positive feedback that the research support program, whatever we conducted, it resulted in a considerable rise in their faculty research publications. So this not only enhanced that particular institution's reputation, but also they were actually able to attract some research grants and partnerships. So these kind of success stories, it underlines the positive impact of FDPs, these kind of FDPs, especially on teaching, research, and the overall institutional quality. And they demonstrate that investing in faculty development, it pays dividends in terms of their students' success and institutional excellence. Well, there are many more stories. Due to time constraint, I will not be able to share everything. Let us go to the next academic best practice. Okay. How well designed curricula contributes to academic quality? Faculties, research scholars, and other participants, can you please tell me how well designed curriculum can contribute to academic quality? Or do you even believe that a well designed curriculum adds something positive to the institution? Can you please share your thoughts? I just asked you how a good curriculum or a well designed curriculum contributes to the academic quality. Skill oriented courses, requirements. Okay, sir. Dr. Sakwik, sir, thank you. Then, design thinking approach, definitely. Anything else? Okay. So, a well designed curriculum, I believe that it is the backbone of any educational institution, because it significantly contributes to the academic quality and its overall effectiveness. See, the design and the development of a curriculum, it shapes the educational experience, and it directly impacts the student learning and the student success. Because a curriculum, it involves decisions about what to teach, then how to teach it, then how to assess student learning, right? So regular curriculum reviews and updates, it is considered as a best practice. Yes, because it ensures the following. So well designed curriculum, they are aligned with clearly defined learning objectives and outcomes as well. So this ensures that students acquire the knowledge and the skills that are necessary for their academic and professional development, as just now somebody answered about the skills. Then, most importantly, relevance to industry. A dynamic curriculum takes into the account the evolving needs of industries as well as the job market. It tries to incorporate the latest trends, the technologies, the best practices. So they are trying to confirm that graduates are job ready and they meet the expectation of their employers. So a curriculum that promotes interdisciplinary learning, as we discussed in the previous slide. So it also encourages students to explore various subject areas. Say, for example, students can design and build a model of a sustainable city. This is a very good example. We keep on seeing this example. Maybe many of you would have come across building a model of a sustainable city. Because what is there? What is the connection here with the interdisciplinary learning? Maybe building the model of a sustainable city, it merges mathematics, science, geography, engineering, social studies. What do you say? So, this fosters creativity and critical thinking among the students. It prepares the students mainly to address the complex real world challenges, because these challenges they require a versatile solutions, isn't it? Then, an effective curriculum incorporates experiential learning opportunities. It could be like internships, research projects, or say community engagement. So, all these experiences they will complement the classroom instruction so that students can apply their theoretical knowledge even in the practical settings, isn't it? Then, curriculum design involves regular assessment of student progress. And what about their achievement of learning outcomes? Feedback from students, faculty, or industry stakeholders, everything should inform these improvements. So, a curriculum should reflect the latest educational best practices, is what I feel. And in today's fast paced world, curricula they must be flexible and adaptable, right? We all have experienced it since 2019. So, they should allow for the customization, because see we have many students who are from different backgrounds and definitely their needs are diverse, right? And we must remain aligned with the academic standards. Also we must be trying to meet the diverse needs of our students. And a modern curriculum often incorporates a global perspective. It tries to expose this to give a exposure to its students to diverse cultures, to diverse worldviews. Now, this helps them become informed and open minded global citizens. This is what we expect from our students, isn't it? Then, accreditation requirements. So, many accrediting bodies they require the institutions to have a well structured and regularly reviewed curriculum. So, compliance with accreditation standards is crucial for the institution's reputation and standing in the academic community. Am I right? Yes. Assessment and evaluation. So, assessment and evaluation are critical components of maintaining and enhancing academic quality in higher education institutions. So, these processes, assessment and evaluation, help the institution to achieve all the following: student learning measurement. See, assessment methods such as our traditional exams, assignments, projects, all these will help measure our students' understanding and what is their level of knowledge acquisition. Now, by assessing their performance, institutions can ensure that students are meeting the expected learning outcomes. Evaluation processes assess the effectiveness of curricula. We just discussed in the last slide, as well as the teaching methods also. Now, this includes checking if at all their curriculum aligns with the learning objectives or not. whether their teaching methods are engaging their students effectively or not. This is done in the evaluation process. Then, data driven decision making. Assessment and evaluation, they provide data that informs our decision making. Institutions, they can use this data so that they can make informed improvements. If we have data, yes, definitely we can make proper decisions. Simple. Then they can also allocate resources effectively. With the data, when we have something in hand, what are the positives, what are the negatives, we can definitely identify the areas what are in need of enhancement, and we can start working on those weaknesses. Then, regular assessment and evaluation are fundamental in maintaining and improving the academic quality. As just now I told you, they help to identify the areas for improvement, and it is leading to a culture of continuous quality enhancement. And this is what our institutions or our accrediting bodies expect from us, isn't it? Then, accreditation compliance. So, accrediting bodies often require the institutions to have a robust assessment and evaluation process in place. So, meeting these standards has become very much crucial for maintaining the credibility of our institution and getting recognition. So, there are many innovative assessment methods. Project based assessment. So, most of our teaching, it has become online since 3 4 years. Instead of traditional, the same old examination pattern, project based assessment tasks the students with real world projects and presentations. So this method especially, it fosters critical thinking amongst our students. It enhances the problem solving abilities, and also it gives the practical application of knowledge. Then one more innovative assessment method is peer assessment. Students, they can assess their colleagues work, their peers work. Now this is encouraging them for self reflection, as well as they can also learn from their classmates. It is called peer learning. And um, it also provides a broader perspective on individual performance. If one of my friend tells me, yes, I can definitely understand, that is, I'm trying to learn from my peer. E-portfolios. So in simple words, they are nothing but a you can call it as digital collections of a student's work over the time. Now they allow for the assessment of their skills development, critical thinking, and what is the progression of their learning. Say for example, a teacher education program, it requires students to maintain e-portfolios. Maybe they just want to showcase their lesson plans, what is their teaching philosophy, or even the videos of their classroom instruction. Now, having all these, the e-portfolios will provide a holistic view of their teaching abilities. So everything has become digital, and it is very easy for us to access them, right? Gamified assessments. So gamification involves, we are trying to incorporate game elements into our assessments. We just want to make the learning experience more engaging to our students. We want them to interact in the class. So this kind of assessments, it is encouraging or giving an experience of more interactive and more enjoyable classroom. Then we have formative assessment. It occurs throughout the learning process, and it also helps the students to identify their strengths and weaknesses. Say, for example, a mathematics course, it can regularly administer quizzes. Throughout the semester, they can conduct quizzes, right? Now, we are allowing the students to gauge their understanding, and they can seek help if at all they need before their final exams. How many hour quiz they want? Yes, definitely they can do that. And as teachers, we can administer that. If some help is needed, definitely students will come back to us and we can help them. Then, learning analytics. So, it involves collecting and analyzing data on student performance. Mainly, we want to identify the trends. We just want to measure the impact of our teaching methods and then predict the student success. So this is just helping us in making a data driven decision making. Okay. Can somebody tell me how support services of an institution, student support services, enhance the experience of students? Does student support services play any kind of relevant role in enhancing the overall student experience, especially in HEIs? Do we need such kind of student support services in our institution, in our institutions? Because every day morning students will come. If they have some kind of administrative task, they'll just go to the administrative office, they'll finish it off, they'll pay their fees, or they'll be just submitting their assignments, projects, everything is done. If they have any doubts or queries, they'll just get it clarified from their faculty. But is there anything more needed? Should we give some kind of student support services in an institution? Is this necessary? What do you think, participants? Skill oriented courses, okay, sir. Are our students expecting something more than the traditional format of teaching learning process? What do you think? Okay, these kind of student support services, they encompass a wide range of resources and assistance. They need the following: mental health and well-being. So counseling services should provide a safe space for our students, mainly to address their mental health concerns. We should also care about not only about their marks, but also about their stress and their emotional challenges. And this kind of support is crucial for their overall well-being as well as their academic success. Then, academic support, tutoring, writing centers, academic advisors, all of these, they help the students to improve their study habits, or to even to improve their time management, or to improve their career guidance. Career guidance. See, career services, they assist the students in exploring their career paths. What should I do after my plus 2? Which stream should I take? What is the option for me after completing my BCom? Right? We must be They must be in a position to explore their career paths. We must prepare them for the job interviews. On their own, they must be able in a position to explore their career paths. Facilitates a smoother transfer their education to the workforce. Then, personal development. See, mentorship programs and personal coaching, definitely it empowers the students. They themselves, they can set the goals. They can develop their own leadership skills, and also they can maximize their personal potential. So these experiences, they extend beyond the classroom experience, right? Then, diversity and inclusion. Support services, they promote diversity and inclusion. It is creating a welcoming and inclusive campus environment, right? This fosters a sense of belongingness amongst all our students, regardless of their background, their ethnicity, race, caste, creed, religion, anything. We just do not want that, right? Say, for example, if our college it organizes some cultural events or sensitivity training, they just want to support the groups. So these efforts of made by the institutions, They are trying to create a more inclusive campus environment, and it is also resulting in the higher retention rate for the students, especially when we have them from the underrepresented backgrounds. Accessibility and accommodation. So specialized support is offered to students with disabilities. We have to assure them that they have equal access to the education. Even accommodations, it may include assistive technology or any kind of modified testing conditions. Then, study abroad and international support. Services help international students navigate the visa requirements or their cultural adjustment or any kind of academic challenges that they are facing. So this kind of support, it enhances their experience if they want to study especially in a foreign country. Financial aid and scholarship. See, support services, it guides students in understanding the financial aid options. What kind of scholarship am I eligible to get? What about the budgeting? So this helps alleviate the financial stress, and it also ensures that the students can afford their education. So research and innovation, they are, they are the cornerstones of higher education institutions. They are crucial for many things as mentioned. Advancing knowledge. Research, it contributes to the body of knowledge in various fields, and it is driving innovation and progress. So our higher education institutions are at the forefront of generating new insights and discoveries, isn't it? Then student engagement. Involving our students in research projects, it mainly enhances their learning experience. It, as I already told you, it fosters their critical thinking, problem solving. They can also gain a deeper understanding of the subject matter under discussion. Say, for example, undergraduate students who are majoring in biology, they can participate in a research project where they are trying to study a behavior of some kind of rare bird species. Now, they learn the essential research skills, isn't it? And they are trying to contribute to a growing body of knowledge about these bird species, whatever they have studied. Then, societal impact. Research often leads to innovations that benefit our society. It may result in medical breakthroughs or some kind of environmental solutions or technological advancements. All these will ultimately improve the quality of life of us, isn't it? Then, attracting top faculty and students. So, the presence of cutting edge research and innovation programs, it attracts renowned faculty from other institutions. Yes, they want to join our institution, and we also see so many promising students, and thereby we can create a dynamic academic community in our institution. Reputation building. So, successful research and innovation projects enhance an institution's reputation. It positions that particular higher education institution as a leader in its field. And definitely, this can lead to the increased enrollment. We can also see there are more collaboration opportunities, funding, right? Research and innovation can drive economic growth. It is fostering entrepreneurship, creating jobs, and also they are supporting the local industries as well. Okay. Participants, please tell me what is the role of technology in improving the academic quality? Is this a academic best practice, technology integration? Yes, no? What are your opinions? Do you consider technology integration as a best practice in our institutions? What do you think? Should we integrate with the technology, evolving technology? Yes, yes, ma'am. You're right. Any other insights? Okay. Probably in the first slide or second slide, I was speaking about the technology. So technology integration, it has become the central element in our higher education institutions, right? Because it is significantly enhancing the academic quality. How it is revolutionizing teaching, learning, and even our administrative processes as well, right? So enhanced learning resources. Technology offers access to a vast array of digital resources. They may be e-books, research databases, online simulations. Everything is increasing or enriching our learning experience. Flexible learning. See, online learning platforms and virtual classrooms allow the students to access educational content from anywhere. You may be in Chennai, you may be in China, no problem. It promotes flexibility, accessibility, and it is making easier even for the working professionals to pursue higher education. So that is the concept of flexible learning. Then coming to personalized learning, adaptive learning software, it just customizes, tailors instruction to individual students. Whatever is the specific need of a student A, student B, definitely it can address them. And we can also set our pace of learning, because if you are slow learners, if you are fast learners, no problem. Say for example, if we have an adaptive learning software, an adaptive math platform, it provides extra practice or extra practice problems for students who are struggling with specific concepts. Yes, it is definitely personalized learning based on our requirements, based on our needs. Then engagement and collaboration. See, technology, it facilitates interactive and collaborative learning experiences. It may be through our discussion forums or virtual group projects or any kind of multimedia content. Then, efficient administration. As I told you, our HEIs use technology even for administrative tasks. Our artificial intelligence tools, they help automate these administrative processes such as admissions, registration, financial aid, streamlining the processes, or improving the services for students. Everything has become much more easier compared to the last decade, isn't it? Then, data driven decision making. Institutions use data analytics to assess the student progress. They can also measure the effectiveness of the teaching methods, right? And it is also enabling the data driven improvements. Okay. In the realm of academic best practices, institutions are increasingly recognizing the importance of societal responsibilities and community engagement. See, these initiatives, they not only enrich the academic experiences, but also they bring about positive change in the communities they are serving. Village adoption. See, many higher education institutions, they have adopted neighboring villages or communities, and they are committing to their holistic development, maybe in improving their education, healthcare, infrastructure, or even their overall living conditions. Then we have outreach programs. So they extend the institution's resources or expertise to the broader community, not only within their institution, but they are trying to extend the help to the broader community. They may be conducting the healthcare camps or vocational training, arts and cultural events, or disaster relief and preparedness, awareness campaigns, many things. Then, these programs often require interdisciplinary collaboration. We have to bring together faculty and the students from various departments. That is the important thing, to address the faceted challenges in our community. Then, community feedback. These initiatives are typically driven by the needs and preferences of the community. So, continuous feedback and dialogue, it ensures that the institution's efforts are in alignment with the aspirations of our particular community. Then, engaging in such initiatives also helps in nurturing or promoting a sense of global citizenship amongst our students. So they will be aware of their own roles and they become the responsible members of the global community. Collaborative partnerships. So, institutions often collaborate with local governments or NGOs or even other stakeholders. They just want to maximize the effectiveness and sustainability of their societal responsibility initiatives. So, green initiatives in academia, they aim to promote sustainability and environmental responsibility. There are many key practices. How can we promote sustainability or our environmental responsibility? Sustainability education. So, try to incorporate eco friendly topics into the curriculum. Teach our students about the environmental issues and solutions. Green campus operations. Why don't you implement the emerging technologies or sustainable practices? It could be like LED lighting, waste reduction, or water saving methods, mainly to reduce the campus environmental footprint. Then we have transportation alternatives. Please encourage sustainable commuting options like biking, walking, or even using the public transit to reduce the emissions as well as the congestion, whatever we see in our cosmopolitan cities. Coming to green building standards, you can construct or even renovate the buildings using the eco-friendly design or the eco-friendly materials. Mainly you want to minimize the energy consumption and also promote sustainability. Then sustainability committees, establish some teams, right, which coordinate and advance the sustainability efforts on your campus. Try to engage with that community. Sustainable food initiatives. Okay, serve locally sourced or organic food in the dining facilities and try to reduce food waste, right? It could be through composting or just try to follow the responsible consumption. Then, renewable energy. Transition to clean energy sources like wind, solar, or geothermal power. Mainly, we want to decrease the greenhouse gas emissions. Then, research for sustainability. Encourage the faculty and students to conduct research which is focused on environmental issues or the sustainable technologies. Student involvement. Try to engage all your students in eco friendly initiatives. It may be through your clubs, forming some kind of clubs, workshops, or even extracurricular activities. We are trying to foster a culture of environmental responsibility on our campus. Okay. So this slide is for you participants. You can just take a minute or two and please try to share some specific best practices that your institution has implemented. If possible, you can definitely highlight what are their impacts and outcomes. If there is an option, please unmute yourselves and you can just share it. What are the specific best practices that your colleges, your institutions have implemented? Please share your academic best practices from your own institutions. Are your institutions following any kind of best practices? If yes, please try to share what are those best practices. It need not have to be necessarily from the list whatever we have discussed. Even the best practices from your institution might be something different. You can definitely share them with us. Anything anybody would like to share? Your best practices? Anybody wants to share? Yes? No? Pre-reads. Okay. Okay, ma'am. Right. Okay. Let's quickly move to the next slide. What are the common challenges in implementing best practices in our higher education institutions? First and foremost, for anything in any institution, we see there is resistance to change. So, faculty and staff, they may resist changes in curriculum, right? Say they say no for technology integration, or they do not just want to change their teaching methods, particularly if they have been placed maybe for a long time, like what we witnessed during the times of pandemic. So most of us at the first place we resist to the change. Once we know the pros and cons, then only we slowly get adapted to each of these best practices or best methods, isn't it? Then resource constraints, right? So many higher education institutions, they may face budget limitations. So this hinders the investments in technology or giving the faculty development or the student support services, as we what we discussed. Then adherence to tradition. See, HEIs often they have long standing traditions from 40 years, 60 years, 100 years, 150 years. Yes. And their administrative procedures can also hinder the adoption of more innovative or more flexible approaches. What we were doing 2 decades back, we just want to follow the same thing. So we do not want to go out of that tradition, is what they believe in. Right. Faculty development. Supporting faculty in adapting to the new teaching methods and technologies, it definitely requires significant time and resources. Assessment complexity. So, effective assessment and evaluation processes can be challenging to establish. Once we establish, again maintaining the same, right? So, it is requiring vigorous data systems as well as we need skilled analysts, right? Then changing student demographics. So higher education institutions, they must cater to an increasingly diverse student body, because we often see there are varying needs, varying expectations from all our students. Whatever a student X wants, the Y is not, he doesn't need the same thing, right? Okay. So what are the solutions and strategies for these kinds of challenges? First thing is faculty involvement. Encourage faculty and staff to participate in decision making process when you are trying to implement these best practices. Their input and their involvement can definitely reduce the resistance to change. Then strategic resource allocation. Prioritize the resources for initiatives that align with the strategic goals of the institution. Try to seek external funding opportunities, partnerships, or grants so that you can supplement these resources. Collaborative leadership. Promote a culture of shared leadership. Please allow administrators, faculty, staff to collaboratively drive this change. Okay? Encourage open communication, open dialogue, and engagement with all the concerned stakeholders, and that is very important. Professional development. Please provide workshops, trainings, or incentives if your faculty are um, adopting any kind of innovative teaching approaches. Then, technology integration support. establish dedicated support teams, mainly to assist the faculty and in navigating and utilizing the technology properly, effectively. Try to offer them the ongoing technical support and training. That is much more important. Then, data driven decision making. Please implement strong data analytics systems so that you can support the assessment and evaluation processes. Leverage data, okay, to continuously enhance the academic quality. Inclusive practices. Develop a comprehensive plan for inclusive education, as we already discussed, and to provide the student services, because we have to consider the diverse needs and backgrounds of our students. Employ change management principles. It could be including clear communication or stakeholder involvement or phased implementation step by step to navigate the process of change. Benchmarking and peer institutions. See, as an institution, let us also learn from the success and challenges faced by our similar institutions. Right? We can also benchmark against our peer institutions. We can gain insights. What are the effective practices followed by other institutions? We can benchmark, and definitely, if we can follow that, it would make a positive change even in our institutions. And encourage a culture of continuous improvement. How? Maybe by regularly reviewing and updating these best practices. And it should be based on feedback, assessment data, as well as changing needs. Okay. What is the future of academic best practices in higher education institutions? So, as HEIs continue to evolve, it is very much crucial to consider the emerging trends. Blended learning. It is nothing but the integration of online and in person learning. It becomes more prevalent, right? And it also offers students the flexibility, and they can also access to a wider range of courses and resources. Support services mainly for mental health and well-being. It will become even more critical, right? As the stigma around mental health issues, it continues to diminish. Then, ethical considerations related to technology, data privacy, online behavior, all this will demand more attention, not only technology, when we speak about technology. Because institutions, they grapple with the responsibilities of digital education. Crisis preparedness. Higher education institutions will enhance their crisis management plans, including those for public health crisis or any kind of natural disasters, or as I told you, the cybersecurity threats. Global preparedness. Preparing students for a globally interconnected world, including the challenges, opportunities of globalization, or emphasizing the international collaboration, offering them the study abroad programs, or virtual international classrooms, or giving them the global internships, so that we are trying to prepare our students for a globalized workforce. And this will definitely be essential in the coming years. Right. So to conclude, I would like to say, in this era of rapid change and opportunity, the pursuit of academic excellence, the implementation of best practices, and mainly the commitment to quality assurance, they are just not ideals, but they are imperatives. As we look to the future, let us understand that journey of higher education is the one that continually reshapes itself, so that we can meet the evolving needs of our dynamic world. Isn't it? Right. Now, I would like to invite you to ask any questions you may have, or even you can share your thoughts on the topics we have discussed today. Right? Please feel free to unmute yourselves, or even you can type your questions in the chat box.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for the informative section, and it was very useful. And hopefully, all the participants will be using all these things, all the insights of yours in the future. Thank you so much for your wonderful session, ma'am. Uh,
Right.
can we
Are there
have
any
a
questions
some
from the
questions, participants?
participants?
I request all the participants to type out your questions in the YouTube live chat. Ma'am, there is one question.
Mhm.
She was asking around the best practices with examples.
What, ma'am?
There was one participant who was asking the best practices with examples. A kind of in best practices which is practice in the department kind of a level in an institution.
Okay, in the departmental level.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Till now we discussed about the no problem. Say for example, we can have many kind of academic best practices. First thing we can do is time management. That is also a very good best practice. Try to allocate dedicated time for classes, assignments, or even for your study sessions. Then we can also have a concept called active learning. Um, as faculty, you can engage actively in class discussions. Allow your students to ask questions so that you can deepen your understanding. So, inside your department, you can definitely practice a structured note taking method when you are preparing something to tell to your students. You can have a proper outline, right? Then, uh, inside a department, as a faculty, you can just preview the material before just getting inside the classroom, right?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. There is another question. What are the criteria of selecting the best
Your
practices
subject.
in HEI?
Sorry, ma'am.
What are the criteria of selecting the best practices in the HEI? They have given a kind of an abbreviated word.
Sorry, ma'am.
What are the criteria of selecting the best practices in a HEI? Hello.
Ma'am, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Your voice is not audible.
Ma'am, actually, what are the criteria of selecting the best practices in a HEI? The
I was
question is
just
being.
okay. Now it is displayed. Right,
Yeah.
ma'am. I was actually answering the question.
Sorry, ma'am, couldn't hear you. Am I audible, ma'am?
Not only the mental health, as I told you, your physical health, getting enough of sleep, eating well, exercising, managing the stress, anxiety, right? You can follow the relaxation techniques, meditation, counseling. All these are your individual best practices. Then inside the department, you can have proper goal setting. What is my short term? what are my short term goals, what are my long term goals, so that as faculty even we can stay motivated, what to do today, what to do after 1 month, right? What are my plans when once I get into January 2024. So all these are the best practices which will help you to succeed in your academic endeavors, and it definitely helps you to improve your learning efficiency and your overall academic performance.
And there
Okay,
is one more
coming to
question.
the
Uh, should the
yes,
practices be only academic, or it has to be on the whole?
ma'am, you asked us one more previous question. What are the some criteria for selecting the best practices, isn't it, ma'am?
Yes, yes, exactly.
I'll answer that and I'll come back to this.
Sure.
So, if you want to select the best practices, what my higher educational institution should adopt, there must be a proper systematic evaluation process. Which kind of strategy? Whatever I mentioned, everything might not be suitable for your higher education institute. I'm very sure. What kind of strategies should I be using, or my institution must be using? What kind of programs, what kind of initiatives are beneficial for our institution? Based on that, we will be selecting the best practices, right? As I told you, it definitely differs from the specific goals and the context. Maybe the best practices what we select is in the alignment with the vision mission of our institution. That is very, very important. It must be in alignment with our institution's core values or the long term goals, whatever our institution has. Then I kept on telling in many slides that the practices, whatever we want to follow, they must be supported by research and data. There must be proper evidence. Then only we can weigh whether it is effective or not, right? Then um, even you can check what is the relevance, what is the applicability of that particular best practice if we uh, adapt in our institution. Mainly we are checking the impact, its outcomes, and what about the sustainability? Is this particular best practice sustainable over time? Is this particular best practice, is it only a short term solution, or is it a long lasting approach? We need to check. Then we must also check what is the scalability. Are we able to accommodate different sizes and types of institutions? How many departments do we have in our institution? Based on that, we will be checking, is this for everybody? Is this for all the departments? Then we must also check about the inclusivity and diversity, because through a best practice, the thing is we want to address the needs of diverse student body and even faculty, right? Okay, so probably this must be the criteria for the higher education institutions before selecting any kind of best practice. uh, did I answer your question, ma'am, or is there anything else
Yes.
relevant to this question?
Yes. The next question that we have is: should the practices be only academic, or it has to be on the whole?
Or it has to be
On the whole.
on the whole? um, Definitely, ma'am, it must be on the whole, is what I think. So, as I told you, uh, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
So, as I told you, it is not only for a particular department that we are conducting, say, for example, this FDP, isn't it? So, it must be beneficial when we go across an interdisciplinary collaboration. And it is not only about the mathematics department or chemistry department or business, what we are speaking about. On a whole, if you just try to scale it, it will definitely, we are trying to optimize the operations. We can definitely enhance the satisfaction of all our stakeholders. Thereby, we can also achieve the academic excellence. Right, ma'am?
Yeah. Next question is:
Yes, ma'am.
in our institution, we have best practice called rural immersion. How we can make better?
Rural immersion. Okay. Ma'am, may I know what kind of steps already you have taken for this rural immersion? Based on that, I can tell you. Rural immersion means what is it you are following right now?
Is not applicable. She has not replied, ma'am. We'll move on to the next question.
No, ma'am. 1 second. I'll just try to answer this.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
Already, as I told you before, the green initiatives, we must be assessing the needs. We need to understand what are the needs of that particular community where we are trying to serve, or that rural place wherever you are trying to tell. Then let us, as an institution, we try to establish the partnership with those rural communities. Then we should try to understand what are their priorities, and what is it we are trying to address. What are their requirements? There must be clear objectives, ma'am, about what we are trying to help them. Let us try to prepare ourselves, not only our faculty members. Let us try to even guide our students. Let us have a faculty and student involvement who have the expertise in the field. We can take the suggestions from them, right? So those kind of faculty, they can provide a proper academic structure, and they can support these kind of programs. It could be community engagement, as we discussed, having an active involvement in that particular local community, connecting with those local residents, and gaining the insights. What is their way of life? What is it they need? If they need the education or healthcare facilities or any kind of vocational training, what is it they need? Then we can also consider having a interdisciplinary approach, so that we can just try to address a wider range of the needs of that particular community. Then also please think about whether, uh, what about the sustainability? Are you trying to have a long term impact of the program on that particular community? Then so many things we need to have in our mind, mainly apart from this sustainability. What about the ethical considerations? What about their cultural sensitivity? Right, please ensure that your students or your faculty, they respect to the local customs and traditions, and mainly implement the safety measures to protect them during any kind of research, or when you are offering any kind of support to them. And please try to have a documentation and reporting, right? What are your experiences? What do they need this academic year? What is it you have done? So that you can continuously, you can improve. And if they want something else, you can have a long term commitment. You can have a long term relationship with the rural communities. Yes, ma'am.
Next question. Can institutional best practices be different in every AQAR?
Sorry, ma'am.
Can institutional best practices be different in every AQAR?
No, I'm not able to see the question here.
It is being displayed. Can institutional best practices be different in every AQAR?
AQAR, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Annual Quality Assurance Report.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Okay. Yeah, now it is displayed. Can institutional best practices be different in every AQAR? Right, ma'am. So the best practices that are mentioned in different AQARs, annual quality assurance report, can definitely vary from one institution to the other, because as I told you, it is definitely context specific, and it depends on the unique characteristics, goals, or what our institution, what kind of challenges is our institution facing. Maybe there might be, see, first of all, our institution, it has different goals from the other institution. We have a different mission, and we definitely have different student population. So what works for one institution as a best practice might not be suitable for the another at the first place. Then there might be also regional and cultural differences. And because institutions, we are widespread, we are located in different regions, countries, and we will be definitely facing distinct challenges, distinct opportunities. So our best practices must reflect these regional or or cultural nuances, right? What disciplines do we have inside our college? It also definitely differs, isn't it? The academic disciplines offered by an institution. Few institutions they offer engineering. We have medical colleges. We have arts. We have social sciences. Right? All these may definitely require different approaches. Then the resources or the infrastructure that is provided by the institution is again it is different. For some people they may have it, and for others it might be constrained, right? Then also based on the accreditation requirements, definitely you can prioritize what are your best practices. Okay, ma'am. Am I audible, ma'am? Am I audible?
Yeah, yeah, yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
How to educate, how to education give to village people about rural development?
Ma'am,
How to educate the village people.
How to educate,
The village people.
give to village people about rural development?
about what development?
Rural development.
Rural development. How to educate them is what you're asking, ma'am. How to
Yeah,
educate the rural population?
yes, yes,
Is that the question, ma'am? How to educate the
yes,
rural population?
yes, yes.
Okay. First, let us try to understand what are their needs, what are the aspirations, right? Maybe you can conduct some kind of surveys, interviews, discussions. Even instead of directly approaching that community people, you can speak with the, you can have a discussion with the local leaders or the residents. First of all, let us try to make, before any kind of training, we will start with the needs assessment, isn't it? Hope you are aware of that. Let us do that. Then let us try to plan and then make a decision making process. So after that, we can take up any kind of educational initiative. What is their local language? What is their culture? What are their traditions? Right? If you know, if we know all these things, the background of them, then we can make the education more accessible and relevant. And what about their basic literacy? What about the numeracy? If they do not know anything, definitely we can start with the basic literacy and numeracy programs or any kind of foundational skills. They are essential for their further education. So that's then we can ensure from our institutional side we have the educational facilities. They are accessible and they are safe for those residents. They may be the schools or libraries, community centers where they can get some kind of academic or educational help. Uh, if you want to speak about the rural development, we can also recruit and train the teachers from an institution who are knowledgeable and who have mainly the knowledge about the local culture and language, so that they can effectively teach whatever you have added in the curriculum. If you are starting from the basics, okay, no problem. Then you can also include some kind of practical learning sessions that makes them more engaging, right? Hands-on experience. It makes the education more relevant to them. And if you are trying to teach the students, then their parents involvement and the community involvement is very very important. First of all, we have to encourage their parents to actively participate in their children education, in the education of their children, right? And they must be providing support for the school activities. And there must be proper infrastructure, resources like textbooks, teaching materials, technology, right? Even you can provide them scholarships, incentives, like how all our state governments are helping for the rural development or rural education, providing them the health, nutrition, or even providing opportunities for adult education, right? All these things would definitely empower them, is what I think.
Okay, we are done with the question
Yeah.
and answer session.
Ma'am?
We are done with the question and answer session, ma'am. There is
Okay.
no more questions. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for answering patiently for all the questions with the viewers.
No problem, ma'am. No problem. My heartfelt thanks to Dr. KP Varlakshmi ma'am, HOD BBA and IQAC coordinator, Dr. MK Malti ma'am, principal, Dr. Gautam P. Vaid sir, honorable secretary and correspondent of Guru Sri Shanti Vijay Jain College for Women, Chennai, Dr. Salma Ma'am, Assistant Professor,
Thank
and
you.
my special gratitude to Dr. Mahalakshmi Ma'am, Assistant Professor, Computer Science Department, for her continuous support and this opportunity. And last but not certainly the least, my sincere gratitude to all our participants. Your presence and your active engagement, it has been instrumental in making this event a success. And I look forward to join all of you again in the future. Thank you all once again.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Now it's time for proposing the vote of thanks. I consider it a great privilege to propose the vote of thanks to all the participants who have witnessed the memorable event. Today, my words are not enough to express the gratitude on behalf of our GSS Jain College. I would like to thank our speaker, Dr. S. Sri Ranjani Mokshabundam, Professor of Management, BGSB School, Bangalore, who graced us with her thought provoking address on the topic academic best practices. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for the wonderful session. I would like to thank our Honorable Secretary, sir, Dr. P. Gautam Ved, sir, and I also thank our lovable Principal, ma'am, M.K. Malati, ma'am, for being constant support and encouragement to the successful completion of the event. My heartfelt thanks to our IQAC coordinator, Dr. K.P. Varlakshmi, ma'am, head of BBA department, for organizing such all the participants from various colleges for showing their interest and support towards the program. Thank you all. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you
It's
so
time
much,
for
ma'am.
national anthem. It's time for national anthem. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you all. Kindly find the feedback link in the YouTube live chat. Thank you all.
Thank you,
Thank you
ma'am.
so much.
May I question?
Thank you so much.
Right, ma'am. Thank you.